Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to actually be discussing uh, on a Mexican governor, a former Mexican governor from the state of Coahuila. Um, I'm not gonna bring up his name or any kind of numbers, but he pled guilty to money laundering and includes offenses against a foreign nation involving money laundering and public corruption. He pled guilty to that. And this is going to be just one example of actually how they funnel money, how they conduct the actual trickle of actual funds. And the way he did it was he had an accomplice, which happened to be at the time he was the undersecretary to the actual governor, and eventually he actually appointed his undersecretary to be the actual secretary of program and budget, and he was the governor is actually the supervisor for this actual position. And so when this actually occurred, it was a 3 year stint of this actual money laundering and actual bribery in public office. So how this money was actually funneled in, it was through road building for the entire state of Coahuila. And these construction companies actually are very high tech. They've got the latest and greatest equipment to actually conduct this, which includes machine to recycle material and heavy equipment. And this is all leased, so that way, if something happens to the equipment, the actual leasing company will actually repair it. And if you guys remember, I had a good friend of mine who was actually had a company of such sort, and he was actually caught as having a false identity as a young kid. So this is exactly what he dedicated himself to, actually providing heavy equipment, bulldozers, graders, the land movers, all that. He actually provided all that. So they're actually recycling this actual road building material from the old. So they're not going to have a lot of overhead on new material. They'll have some, but not as much as you'll need for the entire per square foot, right? So as these contracts are being handed out, there's kickbacks. There's kickbacks going all the way up to the governor, and he actually laundered this money in the United States. But let me tell you, it was a smart move on his end because he will sacrifice a few years of his life and some actual money and be able to walk away and not be a fugitive for corruption. He'll pay his debt to society, but he did not put all his eggs in one basket. He will actually have other accounts in other continents secure. So now he forfeited some money that he had in bank accounts over here in the United States and some property. So that is no longer his. But that really doesn't matter because of the fact that he'll have other accounts in the actual in different parts of the actual world. So this happened for 3 years with the help of the actual his appointee, and and to tell you the truth, the governor, I mean the actual president that's in office right now in Mexico, he actually did a little bit of experimenting on his end, and he picked an indigenous actual community for him to provide work to the community and had them actually pave the federal road that passed through their community. And lo and behold, this community actually got together with labor and actual engineers. They constructed and they maintained their actual federal highways. They had extra material left over, and actual money that was not used, they had some money left over, which they returned back to the government. You know, so that right there in itself tells you that there's actually being overbidded on these actual contracts. But that's just the way it is, and that's the way it is in the United States too. So I mean, we just call it lobbying, and that's how they get away with it in the U.S. By lobbying these lobbyists, they give up a lot of money, and a lot of money is funneled through there. So they have a different name for it, different name for money laundering also, So um, this is just one way of actually how they actually wash money, how they actually conduct business. Because these construction companies will also uh, pave towns. For example, if you own a house in a town over there, the government does not pave your actual residential neighborhood. The neighborhood has to get together and actually pitch in and pay if you want your road, your neighborhood paved. And the individual that does not want to pay will not get his section paved. No, all the way around him, it will get paved, but not his. So therefore, they're actually making money on the community, and they're actually using the material that was for the highway on the community. So that's how the actual construction companies make their extra money that they're actually giving up for bribes to governors. Okay, guys, that's just one example of actually how money gets laundered. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.